heart, Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out. No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable. But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms. Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
You gotta love that music. Still ahead on the program, Mike Valenti at 9:02 and Dr. Chris Hutchinson at 9:35. Let us know what's going on in the COVID world of not just football, but actually at Beaumont and other hospitals around here. All right, it is time for the picks. Last week, the Gov, 4-1, the only one to pick against the Lions. Congratulations. I was 3-2. I was the only one to pick against Michigan. I took the Spartans. Greg and John were 2-3. The standings, Greg and Tom tied atop 22-18. I'm one back at 21-19. And John is bringing up the rear at 20-20. Considering, all that's going on, the fact that nobody's below 500, not too shabby.
No. Yeah, COVID's helping us. Hey, I started 0-5. I'm on fire right now. This is where I always say this every year, and then I'll go with 1-4 this week.
All right, we begin in college football. Notre Dame at home. They are a 5.5-point home dog to Clemson. Greg, start us off.
Yes, that DJ Uiagalelei starting a quarterback for Clemson, and Notre Dame for sure is going to have the advantage at quarterback in experience-wise. But this is still Clemson we're talking about, and no program in the country shows up for big games like Clemson. Give me the Tigers.
All right, let's go to John.
Great job on the name. I'm going to go with the throwing Samoan. And because I would butcher his name, but yes, I do believe that nobody shows up bigger and nobody has freshmen show up bigger in championship games and big games than Clemson, but I'm going to take the points in this one, and I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Kyron Williams has almost the exact same stats as Travis Etienne. They're going to control the football, do as much as they can to keep the throwing Samoan and the high-powered offense that Clemson has on the sideline. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in the rushing attack.
All right, Tom.
What's with all these names lately in college football that are hard to pronounce? I mean, and then the Lions get O-R-E-A.
It's a global sport.
Yeah, it is, definitely. All right, I'm going to go Greg here, and I think the wisdom of Clemson in huge games, and I got a stat here for you that I think will blow your guys' minds. I don't believe I'm overselling this. Since 2015, Clemson 23-3 against the top 25. Those 3 losses are in the college football playoff. Those 3 losses are named Alabama, LSU, Alabama. Notre Dame's a fraud when it comes to being a true national contender. I think it's sexy to take these points here with the freshman QB on the road. This is why Travis Etienne came back. Hop on my back, boys. Clemson by double digits.
Well, you said, it's sexy to take the points. Clemson, obviously, no Trevor Lawrence. We've discussed that. They have other defensive studs who are now been downgraded to out, including their linebacker, Jones. A lot of problems there. You know what? I'll be sexy. Yes. I'll take Brian Kelly in the points because it's too early in the season for Notre Dame to gag.
Nobody's sexier in this show than Stoney. We all know that.
That's right. All right, next we go to Kinnick Stadium in Iowa, where the Spartans, coming off the huge upset against Michigan State, getting 6.5 points against Iowa. John.
I'm going to take the points in this one as well in Michigan State. Not that I necessarily think they're going to win this game, but Iowa has struggled so much to put points on the board. Their defense has been solid, and I just a hunch here, and we'll talk about it in the trenches about what MSU has to do. But I think that Iowa finds a way to limit the pass game of the Michigan State Spartans. They can't throw the ball themselves. Spencer Petras has struggled at quarterback. I'm going to take MSU in the points.
Go.
I'm going points here too, and I think we find out a lot about Mel Tucker this week and how he gets his team to play after a huge win. I'm going to keep open mind that Michigan State might be better than we all think. I've been pretty impressed by Lombardi and the fluky 7 turnovers in the first game. I think you got to throw that out right now. You got to take points in this situation. Even if I were to win, you'd think it'd be 23-20, something like that.
The Spartans are 5-14 against the spread in their last 19, but 2-0-1 versus Iowa. With the new coach, a lot of the trends mean nothing. I'm with you guys. Give me the points.
Call me crazy. I don't think Michigan State is that good. And yes, State fans, you're right. That makes Michigan's loss to them even worse. Plus, my sister lives in Iowa. Give me the Hawkeyes.
All right, we go to Bloomington, Indiana, where the Hoosiers getting 3.5 points against Michigan Gov.
Where do you go? Seriously. What do you do with this game? I believe Michigan is the better team. And them beating Penn State, Indiana a couple weeks ago will raise the eyebrows. And you know what? If there's any manhood, and I think John will agree with me on this, in that locker room and with this team and any pride, Michigan comes out and wins this game. And yeah, could it maybe not cover? Sure, and still win. But I'm gonna take Michigan here in a, I don't know, we'll go 34-23 type game.
Well, you know how I feel about Indiana. How over the years, I think they've always been close. They can't close the deal, but they have managed to cover occasionally in these games. And I just think their quarterback, Penix Jr., is really, really good. Their wide receivers are really good. Michigan's secondary is really, really bad. I think it's going to be a pretty close game, so that's why I'll take the points at home. I'm stunned that Indiana is not the favorite of this team, so give me points. I'm into points in the college ranks today.
All right, I'm pretty worried because when Gov predicts a score, he's not very good. I think he's 2-57 in history when he predicts a score of the game. That being said, this is a game that Michigan wins because they're good enough just to make you think that they're good enough. So I'll take Michigan.
I'm going to take Michigan as well, and here's why. I'm not going to say that Indiana is the fraud because I like Tom Allen. I like that program. They have been, like you said, Stoney, very good at being close in big games. Penn State, I don't know how they won this game. Penn State had 27 first downs, Indiana 16. Indiana only had 211 total yards on offense. Yes, Michael Penix Jr. is a threat. Yes, he has really good skilled position players. They have not played like that. He's only throwing the ball at about 58% completion percentage right now, only has 10 runs. I'm going to take Michigan in the point, and give that 3.5 to Indiana.
I think Michigan's going to put up some points here.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the National Football League, and we go to Tampa. Antonio Brown making his Tampa Bay debut. This is also a revenge game as the Saints beat the Bucks the first time they played. Saints 1-5 in their last 5 against the spread, but 3-0 against the spread versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay first in the league in rush defense. I want points in college. I ain't giving them points here. Give me the Bucks. Greg.
Before the season, I was skeptical of the Buccaneers. I'll admit, they look pretty damn good. But Bruce Arians was the worst interview in the history of this show, so give me the Saints.
You get that for Jamie.
I'm going to take the Bucks in this one as well, and I'm just going to give you a little teaser because I know there's something we're going to do next week in regards to our 5 predictions for the second half of the season. They may have lost their last game in 2020.
Ooh. But wait, they got to come to Cliff Field.
Hey, I'm taking the Bucks. Let's not. That's just my Doug Harsh tease for next week.
Okay. Go.
So y'all took the Bucks, huh?
Yeah.
I was not decided on this game until this morning. I did some digging on some information, and there is a tropical storm that is going to be in South Florida potentially on Sunday night. Tropical Storm Ada. And the winds in Tampa could be 15 to 25 miles per hour and showers off and on. I'm going to go with the team where I trust the running back. And if the Saints are going to get back into this divisional race, they're going to come out and play their best game, and Michael Thomas might be back. I see a lower scoring game than people say because of the weather, and that means a cover. Maybe Tampa wins, but the Saints cover the 4.5.
All right, sound thinking there, Brendan Rule. All right. We go to Minneapolis.
Come on.
We go to Minneapolis, where the Lions take on the Vikings and the Horn. Go ahead, Greg. Start us off.
Second time I'm saying this. Call me crazy, but I'm taking the COVID gambit here that Matthew Stafford will test negative from here until Sunday and that he will play. I will take the Lions plus the 4.5 points. Once again, this is not me in any way buying into the Lions. I'll just take the points.
All right, John.
So what I heard was stay positive, test negative, play football. I'm not going with it. I'm not buying it. I've bought in too many times this year so far, and until the Lions prove that they can stop the run against a really good, in his prime tailback in Dalvin Cook, I don't believe, and I'm going to take the Vikings in this one.
Gov.
Well, I'm just not going to get... I refuse to take the Lions. I just do here. And I'm with John when it comes to the run game. I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a field day. No Kenny Galladay, I think, really hurts the Lions. And with Stafford, it's a 50-50 right now. We don't know if he's going to play or not. I think picking on Friday morning is a real disadvantage here, so I will take the Vikings. And I believe the Minnesota Vikings may be getting back into the playoff race with the demise of the 49ers and their injuries. Check this out. After this week, the Vikings get the Bears fraud, right? Cowboys, Panthers, Jaguars. They do have to play the Bucs. They get the Bears again. They get the Lions again. May the Minnesota Vikings not be dead when it comes to the playoff race.
You might remember that I picked the Minnesota Vikings to go to the Super Bowl. The Vikings are rushing the ball. They're sixth in the league. They're second in the league yards per play. The Lions last in rushing the ball. Last in the league in number of plays. The Vikings 7-3 in their last 10 against the spread versus the against the spread normally. They're 4-1 in their last 5 against the Lions. The Lions 5-13 against the spread. 0-5 their last 5 in Minneapolis. They cannot figure out how to beat the Horn. And fans or no fans, give me those Vikings. And those are the picks. 97-1. The ticket. 97-1. The ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Guernsey Farm. There's weekend road work coming up, closing all lanes of I-75 north and southbound between 8 Mile and 696. That'll begin later tonight, going on through Monday morning. The holidays are here, and Guernsey Farm's Dairy Eggnog is now available. Stop by the Guernsey Store and Restaurant, open every Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Come stock up for your holiday party or sit down and enjoy a meal in the restaurant and help them celebrate 80 years. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
97 won the ticket and CBS Sports Radio 1270. Your homes for the NFL on Westwood One. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the New Orleans Saints. Sunday night football. Pre-game at 7:30 on 97.1 The Ticket.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. Whether it's Napa Auto Parts, Napa Auto Care, or Napa Online, you
something today saying, to say I'm the best receiver in the league would be fair. 10 receptions, 173 yards. Also tonight, West Bloomfield versus Troy, round 2, state football championship. It's fitting because Jamie was here, so we could actually have a little bet going on. But God love you, Jamie. God love the Troy Coastal. I hope you go down to the lake.
In the trenches with John Jensen.
So this is an interesting one, the Minnesota and Lions game, because we all thought that Minnesota was left for dead. We thought they were going to have a giant sell-off. They're 2-5, but they just beat the Green Bay Packers, and as Gov thinks that they're back in the playoff race. I'm not ready to go that far, but the one thing that they do have is a healthy Dalvin. That, to me, is the one and only key to this game. When you look at Kirk Cousins, he doesn't really scare me, but Justin Jefferson has averaged about 18 yards a catch as a young rookie. Keep an eye on this young man, whether it's tomorrow or throughout your time watching this division. He is going to be an absolute superstar. But Dalvin Cook, here's what makes him special. The ability to run the football in the NFL has become kind of a lost art. Their ability to control the clock, that is, to me, the key to this game. If Minnesota can run the football successfully, be good on first down, and run some time off the clock, Detroit is going to have a hard time of finding that rhythm on offense, because on the other side, the Lions have really struggled to run the football. The Vikings are 19th in the league against the run, so they're not great, but they're not bad. Let's just call them good. Okay? And we know what the term good after yesterday means, right? It means average, right? If you call somebody good, maybe it's not what you would want. But we'll get into that later in the show. This, to me, is a good defense, and they're 11th in yards per attempt. So Detroit is going to have to do a really good job. Let me get back. I just got off track because Dalvin Cook, what makes him special is how I started this. Yes, he's good at running the football, but he's really good at catching the football, and that is a unique skill in and of itself for running backs. I am always amazed at how basic athletic skills elude some tremendous athletes, like just catching a football. It's not quite as easy as you think. Throwing a football, not as quite as easy as you think, because, and to me, that's a basic life skill. It just is. Yeah. And there are so many great running backs that have a hard time throwing the ball, and we saw that on display last Saturday. We won't get into that either, but you were going to ask me a question.
Yes. What also, to me, what makes Dalvin Cook so good is his ability to get outside and run through the tackles with power, right?
If you're going to arm tackle this guy, you've got no chance. And so the key for the Lions defense is he's going to gain yards because he averages right now, halfway through the season, 5.3 yards per carry. Who wouldn't love to have a running back with over 5 yards per carry? So the key for the Lions defense is, yes, we know you've got to get good play out of Deshaun Ham. You're going to have to get good play out of Danny Shelton, and hopefully he plays. He's a little bit questionable. But you're going to have to get exceptional or great play out of Everson Griffin, because Trey Flowers is not going to be there. Right. He is going to be expected to play more, which he's going to want to play more. This is his former team. He's going to be highly motivated. And I keep referencing the word good and great, because Everson Griffin was a little bit miffed, you might say.
We might hear from him a little later.